Tonight, you check your phone the second it buzzes. A text, a call, a notification. You expect the world to answer back instantly. But on the night of April 14th, 1912, a message went out into the dark Atlantic, and the person who heard it first had to fight to be believed. His name was Harold Cottam. He wasn't even supposed to be listening. Cottam was the sole wireless operator aboard the Carpathia, a small Cunard liner hours away from the Titanic. It was nearly midnight. He was tired. He was already unstrapping his headphones for the night when one last signal crackled through. CQD, then SOS. Then the word every operator dreaded, sinking. You have to understand how new this technology still was. Wireless telegraphy was barely a decade old. Guglielmo Marconi's invention had connected ships to shore for the first time in history, but most captains still treated it like a novelty, not a lifeline. So when Cottam rushed the message to his bridge, the reaction wasn't panic. It was disbelief. The Titanic? Unsinkable. Sending a distress call? Some officers on other ships that night assumed it was a mistake, a prank, or a garbled transmission from a nervous junior operator. Historian Walter Lord, who spent years interviewing Titanic survivors for his research, later described just how fragile that first wave of communication really was. A single skeptical shrug, in either direction, could have meant the difference between rescue and silence. And nearby, it nearly did. The SS Californian sat less than 20 miles away, close enough to have reached the Titanic in time, but its wireless operator had switched off his set and gone to bed for the night. He never heard a thing. Titanic researcher Tim Malton has spent decades studying the strange atmospheric conditions of that night, arguing that unusual air layers over the freezing water may have bent and distorted radio signals, making some ships hear Titanic clearly while others heard almost nothing at all. So it came down to one exhausted young man on a smaller, slower ship, choosing to believe what he was hearing instead of dismissing it. Cottam woke his captain. His captain turned the Carpathia around and pushed the engines past their limit, racing through an ice field in total darkness. It would still take over 3 hours to arrive. By then, the Titanic was gone, but more than 700 people were still alive in the lifeboats, waiting in the cold, because someone chose to listen. After the disaster, the U.S. Senate held hearings into what had gone wrong, and wireless communication became one of the most urgent questions of all. Within a year, new international law required every passenger ship to keep its wireless manned around the clock. No operator would ever again be allowed to simply switch off and sleep through the ocean's warnings. So tonight, when your phone buzzes and you glance at it without thinking, remember what that connection used to cost. Somewhere in 1912, a tired man almost didn't listen. And the only reason we remember the Titanic's final hours in such detail is that for one crucial moment, he did.